The next one we got here, this is from The Guardian. Obama's efforts to control leaks, most aggressive since Nixon, report finds. So yeah, this basically just goes over how he's absolutely prosecuting journalists and anybody who's a whistleblower, who's leaking information, government crimes. I mean, that should be celebrated in this country, yet we're throwing people in jail for it. People that made faulty loans and stole the wealth of Americans during the financial collapse, and people that committed war crimes are walking free, while people who are trying to expose government crimes are going to jail. I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous. Let me just read this excerpt here. The war on leaks and other efforts to control information are the most aggressive I've seen since the Nixon administration, Downey said in a report which was commissioned by the Committee to Protect Journalists. Those suspected of discussing with reporters anything that the government has classified as secret are subject to investigation, including lie detector tests and scrutiny of their telephone and email records, the report says. This has had a chilling effect on the government accountability, even on matters that were less sensitive, it said. David Sanger, the chief Washington correspondent for the New York Times, one of 30 journalists interviewed by Downey, said in the report, "This is the most closed, control-freak administration I have ever seen." Well, you can say that again. That, again, is The Guardian. And there's actually a sister article here that basically covers the same information. If I could pull it up. Okay, here. This is from the Associated Press report. Obama brings chilling effect on journalism. So again, they're just covering the fact that he's absolutely insane here. Let's see. To date, 6 government employees and 2 contractors have been targeted for prosecution under the 1917 Espionage Act for accusations that they leaked classified information to the press. There were just 3 such prosecutions under all previous U.S. presidents. So far, under the 1917 Espionage Act, which is some old frickin' law he pulled out of his ass, Obama is using this law. He's prosecuted 8 people so far, according to this. And there's just been 3 prosecutions before all other U.S. presidents. So that's what I don't get about these liberals and these Democrats that say, oh, Bush was so bad, he was so terrible, he was this fascist. Obama is exactly that, but a million times worse. What is the deal here? I just don't understand it. So take a look at those 2 articles. Yeah, it's just absolutely ridiculous what he's doing to these whistleblowers. Then we got one here. Obama's national debt rate on track to double. President Obama, this is from the Washington Times. President Obama likes to say that raising the nation's borrowing limit won't add a dime to the federal debt, but neglects to mention that the government has already borrowed equivalent to more than 60 trillion dimes since he took office. When Mr. Obama became president in January 2009, the total federal debt stood at $10.6 trillion. This week, it hit $16.7 trillion. Woohoo! An increase of 57%. The same time frame under President George Bush, the total debt rose 38%, and under Clinton, it rose 32%. So, yeah, there's this whole debt limit crisis. And this idiot gets up on TV with this teleprompter, and he's telling people that raising the debt limit is not raising the debt. And people believe this guy. Okay, let me spell this out for you liberal morons who can't fucking think for yourself. Okay, here's our national debt, right? 16.7 trillion. And if we increase the debt limit, technically that doesn't increase the debt. That increases the amount we can spend, which you know is going to happen, which means the debt limit will increase. It's that simple. It's not even 1 + 1 = 2. It's just looking at the number 1 and recognizing that that's a 1. If you can't do that, then you shouldn't be able to vote, because you're ruining. You're part of the problem that's ruining the country. And then finally here, they talk about, oh, we got to cut spending. You know, well, the Republicans do. The Democrats just don't even care. The Republicans say, we got to cut spending, we got to cut entitlement spending. Well, yeah, we do need to get rid of these entitlement programs, but that's going to take years and years to do. You can't just do that overnight. However, what we can do overnight is stop these military adventures. We're bombing people overseas. I mean, every Hellfire missile is like $3 million every time we blow somebody up. That could be, if we cut down the military, we could actually save money, bring the troops home. I mean, just look at this article here. This is the number one thing we need to stop doing. This is according to RT. White House will continue giving military aid to countries with child soldiers. We're giving military aid and financial aid to all these countries all over the world. And now to countries with child soldiers? Presidential determination announced by the White House on Monday will waive restrictions against aiding regimes that employ child soldiers and allow the United States to provide 6 African and Arab nations with military assistance. The determination, authorized by President Barack Obama and addressed to the Secretary of State John Kerry, says that it is in the national interest of the U.S. to waive applications of a provision of the Child Soldiers Prevention Act of 2008 with respect to Chad, South Sudan, and Yemen. So this guy is going to give military aid and financial aid to countries using kids, child, with AKs, killing each other. This is the type of stuff he supports. It's absolute insanity. Stop the financial aid. We need to focus on ourselves at home. Stop bombing people. I feel like I'm taking crazy pills. Alright, guys, I gotta take a break. That's all I can take for now. Check out my blog at dethronethekings.tumblr.com. And, yeah, that's pretty much it for today, guys.